Creation's gentleness is all I see. 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 I have indeed misunderstood the world, because I laid my sins on it and saw them looking back at me. How fierce they seemed, and how deceived was I to think that what I feared was in the world instead of in my mind alone. Today I see the world in the celestial gentleness with which creation shines. There is no fear in it. Let no appearance of my sins obscure the light of heaven shining on the world. What is reflected there is in God's mind. The images I see reflect my thoughts, yet is my mind at one with God's. And so I can perceive creation's gentleness. Creation's gentleness is all I see. 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 In quiet when I look upon the world, which but reflects your thoughts and mine as well, let me remember that they are the same, and I will see creation's gentleness. Creation's gentleness is all I see. Creation's gentleness is all I see. Creation's gentleness is all I see. Creation's gentleness. Lesson 265. Creation's gentleness is all I see. Paragraph 1. I have indeed misunderstood the world, because I laid my sins on it and saw them looking back at me. How fierce they seemed, and how deceived was I to think that what I feared was in the world instead of in my mind alone. Today I see the world in the celestial gentleness with which creation shines. There is no fear in it. Let no appearance of my sins obscure the light of heaven shining on the world. What is reflected there is in God's mind. The images I see reflect my thoughts. Yet is my mind at one with God's, and so I can perceive creation's gentleness. Paragraph 2. Prayer to God the Father, although it does not mention Father in this prayer, but it is a prayer because all these all these paragraphs in italics in this part of the workbook are prayers to God the Father, and most of them say God the Father, Father. They address God as Father. In quiet would I look upon the world, which but reflects your thoughts and mine as well. Let me remember that they are the same, and I will see creation's gentleness. It's beautiful. This is a beautiful lesson. And the word gentle is used often in the Course. And gentle is a lovely word, is a helpful word, right? To think in terms of the God and creation not only are loving but are gentle. And you can add other words, kind, compassionate, understanding. But gentle is a great word, right? Because it means that we want to become gentle, right? Because we are that creation, right? We are the creation. We are the only there's only one creation. And creation, how it is defined, and how very important word in defining what creation is gentle. But remember that all these words are just words, and are just concepts that are there to help you get beyond the words and the concepts. But you need the words, because the words do mean something to us where we stand right now, which is we're in a world of duality. We're in a world of perception. We're in a world of separation, where, like it or not, we do see differences. We see separation, and we see a world of duality, a world of opposites, a world of where there's gentleness, but there's also things that are not gentle, right? There are people that are gentle, that you might call gentlemen or gentlewomen, right? And then there are people that do not seem so gentle. And that's the way we understand what gentleness is in this world, right? We can't understand what gentleness even is if there wasn't those opposing forces. But in reality, ultimate reality, there's only oneness. There's no opposing forces. There's no opposite to love. Love has no opposite. Jesus said that from the very beginning of the Course. But again, from where we are right now, the word gentleness does have meaning, and hopefully it will help us to remember that what we are becoming is more and more gentle, right? And we're treating our brother with more and more gentleness, and ourselves, right? And ourselves. There's no difference. Your brother is yourself. Yourself is your brother. How you treat yourself is how you're going to treat your brother, and how you treat your brother is how you're going to treat yourself. I have indeed misunderstood the world, because I laid my sins on it and saw them looking back at me. So Jesus is saying right from the beginning here is how I see the world is how I see myself. And if I see myself as sinful in any way, that's going to be reflected back to me. The world is going to reflect that back to me, because that is in my mind, and that is going to be my reality until I correct that in my mind, and then it will not be my reality. It will not be part of my experience once I correct it in my mind. But first I have to correct it in my mind. So, how fierce they seemed. How fierce did my sins seem? Right? How guilty did I feel? In the past. Maybe I still feel guilty. Maybe I still am troubled by these thoughts of being a bad person, or doing the wrong things, or my past history, the things I've done in the past, the things I've done to others, the things I've done, even in this moment, maybe I'm holding grievances and grudges against people in my mind, and that's troubling me, and my experience is reflecting that back to me. And how deceived was I to think that what I feared was in the world instead of in my mind alone? So, again, it will be reflected back to you in your experience, but it really all starts in your mind and ends in your mind, and you have to begin and end with changing your thoughts, changing your mind. That will make all the difference. You do not have to change the world. I did this video on the political situation in the world and ACIM. It's posted there if you want to check it out. Someone said, they wrote to say that that we have to, we the people have to change the world, right? Change the dream. But really, we do not have to change anything outside of ourselves. All we have to do is change our mind, and that's an inside job, and that's a personal thing. That's up to each individual to do, right? No one can do that for you. You have to do that yourself. We can help each other, which is why I'm doing these videos. But ultimately, you have to make You have to do the practice. You have to make those choices yourself. Today I see the world in the celestial gentleness with which creation shines. It's interesting, the word celestial here. It's not a word that's used often. It's maybe used a few times in the Course. It sounds it's a little different than how Jesus usually speaks, but it's a nice word, right? If we say something is celestial, it's heavenly, right? There is no fear in it. Let no appearances of my sins obscure the light of heaven shining on the world. Right? So really there is no sin. There's no guilt. There's no need for forgiveness. There's no need for fear. All of that obscures my true reality. So as long as I'm holding on to those thoughts, I'm not in touch. I'm not fully in touch with my true nature, with my true reality. What is reflected there, and that let's use the metaphor of the clouds that obscure the light of the sun, right? If the clouds were not in the way, the sun would be shining in all its glory. But as long as the clouds are in the way, we cannot see the sun that is always shining, that has never stopped shining. The images I see reflect my thoughts, yet is my mind at one with God's. And so I can perceive creation's gentleness. Right, so everything I see, what I see outside of myself just reflects what's going on inside of myself. If I don't want to keep seeing what I'm seeing outside of myself, I have to change how I'm seeing it, right? I have to change my mind about it. And to do that, you have to practice the Course. And the Course is a unique thought system that is unlike any other, and you can't really bring in other things into the Course, which a lot of people try to do, right? But the Course is its own thing, and you have to understand it and read it and practice it on its own terms. Paragraph 2, in quiet would I look upon the world, which but reflects your thoughts and mine as well. Let me remember that they are the same, and I will see creation's gentleness. So ultimately, I am as God created me, right? I am still as God created me. God created me as a being of love, or as love. Love created me like itself, right? I am love. God is love. I am love too. And that's the only thought. That's the only reality. You know, there's that, if you want to sum up the Course, you could say, only love is real. Hey buddy, what's up? You want to get in here? You could say only love is real is how you sum up the entire Course. In quiet would I look upon the world. So quietness, gentleness, right? Peace comes to the quiet mind, right? You have to bring your mind to a place of peace, and not war, and not attack, and not judgment. You could clear away the clouds, all the things that are in the way of love, right? Removing the barriers of love to love. And what do you get? You find eternal gentleness, eternal peacefulness, eternal quiet. Right, so that one thought of love, of that's all there is, right? Ultimately, everything else is in the way. Anything else that is not loving, that is not of love, it will not last. It's not worth your time. It's not worth holding on to. It's not worth worrying your head about, right? It's not worth giving even a second thought to. Creation's gentleness is all I see, right? All I want to see is creation's gentleness. It's really what this is saying, right? Not that it's all I see, but it's all I really, above all I want to see. That was one of the lessons as well. Above all, I want to see. What do I want to see? I want to see creation's gentleness. Do you want to play this song, bud? Let's play a song now. You want to play a song? We're gonna do this song, okay? Come over here. Creation's gentleness is all I see. We'll see you, buddy. Creation's gentleness is all I see. Creation's gentleness is all I see. Quiet when I look upon the world, which but reflects your thoughts, and mine as well. Let me remember that they are the same, and I will see creation's gentleness. Creation's gentleness is all I see. Creation's gentleness is all I see. Creation's gentleness is all I see. Creation's gentleness. The end. Want to say bye?
Bye.
Okay. See you soon. Keep shining.